welcome. Katie and Kim here from Applegate. We're so excited that you were able to join us today for our first ever lunch and color event. This coloring event is all about back to school, or rather back to something. With times being a little different than normal, we're here to help you and support you through this back to something time, whether it's a recipe or a fun activity like a coloring book. That's what we're here for. So Kim, the artist behind our wonderful coloring book, is on the screen ready to do a live demo of coloring. How's it going, Kim?
Hi, Katie. Hi, everyone. I'm so excited to be here today. We've been looking forward to this day for quite some time now. I'm excited to color along one of the recipes that you will find in this downloadable coloring book. It's our Back to Something coloring book for this season. It includes a lot of fun recipes with a lot of sandwiches and kebabs that you can color along. Lets you be creative and lets you have fun with it. So I'm excited today to color the Eat the Rainbow recipe, which I'm just going to pull out from here.
And if you haven't downloaded the coloring book, check on the screen. You can find the link right there. Please remember it is case sensitive, so the A and the C and the B will need to be capitalized. Make sure we'll give you a few minutes to download it if you haven't yet before we get started. Kim, I see you have a sandwich over there. Is that what you're having for lunch today?
Yeah, so I'm eating the Eat the Rainbow sandwich. It's got a lot of fun colors. It's got a lot of veggies, which I'm trying to get in a lot more of. I got some little mini pickles here on the side too, and a little clementine. So I already ate half of it. So I have the other one here to munch on while we do this today. So are you eating any lunch with me today, Katie?
I am. So I made the kebab recipe. I love that when I have leftover fruits and veggies from meals that I made the night before or the day before, I add them to my kebab, and it's great while I'm working. Take a bite, put it back on the plate. So that's what I'll be having today. I would love for everyone that's tuning in to let us know what you're having for lunch. Drop it in the comments. We'll give you a shout out, and maybe we can add it to our next coloring book.
Yes, and for anyone that's coloring along with us today, I would love to see your creations. So post it on Instagram, post it on Facebook, post it on Twitter. Put it up on your fridge. I want to see what you guys color, which recipe you had fun with, and whatever you did and you got creative with.
Great. So it looks like we got some people on, some love from South Carolina and Florida. Thanks for tuning in. Remember, throughout the coloring experience, please write some comments, share some love, let us know what you're eating, and if you have any questions, we'll be more than happy to answer. But I think it's time to get started.
Awesome. Great. So today I'm going to walk you through some techniques of coloring here. I will be using some coloring pencils, but we can also use crayons. We can also use some markers. Any sort of supply that you have on hand will be perfect. If you have any questions about technique, you just pop them in the comments there. Katie and I will try to answer them as much as we can or as quickly as we can. But we're going to get started. So we're going to start from the top and move our way down here. This is a multi-grain bread. So I have a few shades of brown here that I like to use. And number one tip that you want to do before coloring is actually sharpen all your pencils, which I actually just did before doing this. So what I'm going to do is here, I'm going to start with a darker brown. So normally on a slice of bread, the crust is darker always. So what you want to do is just start on the edges of the bread here. And the closer you are to the tip of the pencil, the more pressure you apply. So this is a good technique to add dimension to your coloring page. So what you can do here is, if you can see, just start on the edges here and just color along and add the shadows. And then, just as you move towards the middle, you want it to be a little lighter. So you move away from the tip of the pencil. So just do it as so. And I don't know if you guys know, but coloring is actually very therapeutic. It's a huge stress reliever. So there's something just very relaxing about coloring in pages. So just follow along here, the ridges of the bread, or just follow along the lines and just have fun with it.
And Kim, if I know you said we could use crayons or markers, what would a technique or a tip be for coloring in the crust if you had a marker or a crayon instead of the pencil? Same idea of the pressure and starting on the edges.
Yeah, so with a marker, it's a little harder to shade in. But what I would do here in this instance is I would grab a brown marker, which I have right here, right? A brown marker. And what you want to do maybe is just coloring those seeds that are normally darker. So that's a good way to add dimension to your bread. So you can color in the seeds and that gives it that extra, you know, fun magic to it. What I will do now here is to demonstrate is use a crayon for the open side of the bread, and a crayon actually covers a lot more surface area quicker. So what you can do is here is just move back and forth, and if you can stay within the lines, perfect. If not, it's okay. It's not a big deal.
So we have a recipe inspiration for what one individual is having for lunch today. Oven turkey sandwich with pear slice and brie cheese. That sounds delicious. I know Kim and I love brie cheese, and when we're in the office, we're in the kitchen toasting up some bread and melting the brie. It's even really good with some jams if you have. I love that. So thanks for sharing.
This sounds very seasonal too. Perfect. So let me see.
And Kim, I only have crayons, and my box only comes with one brown crayon. So if that's the case, any tips on how to get the dimension?
Yeah, so same thing with the coloring pencil here. The closer you are to the tip, the more pressure you add to it. So here, let me show you. On the edges here, you can just add a little, like an extra layer of it. And a good technique that I was taught when I was a kid is a better way to blend this in is if you grab some sort of like paper towel and you kind of just move it back and forth. It blends the colors a little more. So if you wanted to get fun with it, you can do that. You obviously see some of it comes off, but that's a good way of just kind of shading in and blending in everything together and making work whatever you have.
Wow, that's really cool. I never knew that. Definitely gonna add that to my coloring book techniques.
Perfect. Okay,
so,
great.
I don't know if you're not having lunch with us today, that's fine, but maybe we can figure out what some of our fans' favorite sandwich are. If you have one, please add it in the comments. And again, we'll definitely keep it in mind and maybe add it to our next coloring book.
Okay, great. So now we're going to move into the avocado here. And I have two shades here of greens. Now, you know that when you slice up an avocado, the edges are always darker and the inside is always a limey, very vibrant green. So what I'm going to do here is, again, same technique we just used before. We're going to start with the darker color on the edge here, on the outside. And you're going to just shade it in. Apply the pressure like we talked about with the slice of bread. Now I'm just doing the same for all slices of avocado here. But you just...
Yeah. So Lauren loves a BLT. I love that too, especially with some Applegate bacon.
Extra crispy bacon. And some heirloom tomatoes.
Yes, especially this time of the year. I believe we're just ending the tomato season in Jersey. And I know I love going to farmers market and getting local Jersey tomatoes. They're delicious. Ooh, and Carrie, Applegate Black Forest ham and cheese, simple and comforting. I agree. And I know Kim, she can talk more about it, but she loves ham and cheese on a croissant.
I love a toasted croissant with just a little melty cheese and ham, especially honey ham is like one of my favorites. That's like the all-time favorite sandwich. It's simple, it's just quick, and it just always hits up the spot. Okay, so now that we've gotten here to this point, we're going to start adding in the lighter green to the edges here. And now with a pencil, it's so much easier to blend two colors. So what you want to do again is just as you move towards the center to meet the two colors, you just want to let off some of that pressure and you just let it kind of blend in together. And then I can show you another technique once I'm done with this. What you can do is if you wanted to, you can add in another shade of green to kind of just marry those two greens together and just make it more dimensional.
Now I want some avocado. I love adding avocado to sandwiches. It really adds a nice creamy texture. And someone once told me to make the perfect sandwich, you need some creamy textures, you need a crunch, you need a little bit of a tang. So I feel like this Eat the Rainbow sandwich really helps to encompass all of that.
It does. It really just adds that extra anything to any sandwich pretty much. And now I'm just thinking about avocados too, and on BLTs and every sandwich that everyone's commenting here on.
Yeah, and we have another individual having a turkey sandwich with some special honey mustard. I feel like spreads and sauces really can help to elevate your sandwich as well. So I would love to know where that honey mustard's from.
I love a good honey mustard. It's the best dipping sauce too. Okay. So now that we've finished here these slices of avocado, we're going to move down to the carrots. Now, carrots are super easy in this sandwich. It calls for shredded carrots. So, I mean, again, here you just follow the outline of the, the way that the shape is going. So in this case, it's just back and forth. And again, if you move out of the lines, it's completely okay. This is meant to be fun. Get as creative as you want with it as, as possible. I know that there's multicolor carrots, so you can color this in however you like. Let your imagination flow with this. So, you want to bring in the ones that are towards the front, make them a little darker just because they are towards the front. And anything towards the back, you can make lighter so that anything on top of it can pop.
You know what else I love about this recipe? And Kim and I were just having this conversation the other day. We're always looking to add more vegetables to our diet, and it's hard to really get them all in. So why not pack them all in on a sandwich? And it's a great way to sneak in some veggies for the little ones if they're not particularly a fan. I think this is a great way of packing it in their lunchbox, giving a nice snack to go with it, and no one thinks twice that now they just ate carrots, tomatoes, peppers, avocado.
Yeah, and I mean, honestly, one of my favorite snacks is just veggies with hummus. And this recipe calls for hummus. So it's literally just putting everything together between two slices of bread, adding a little extra protein with the turkey. And it just makes it a really, really, really fulfilling lunch.
Yeah, and if you don't have turkey, I feel like any of our deli products would work really well with this. Ham, prosciutto, salami, maybe all three, maybe all four. Add the turkey in too. I think the possibilities are really endless when it comes to this sandwich.
They are. Okay, perfect. Now that we've colored in the carrots, and if I'm moving too fast, anyone just please let me know. But we're all just hanging out here, having some fun and just coloring this along. We're going to move down to the tomatoes. And now that I was just talking about heirloom tomatoes and Katie brought up heirloom tomato season here in Jersey, I want to make this a little more fun. So I'm going to do a different shade, but I'm going to do an orange, a yellow, and a red. But you can do whatever you want with it. Okay. So again, just apply the pressure on the edges, and tomatoes are lighter on the inside. So just, loosen up that pressure as you get towards the middle of it.
I have a question for everyone tuning in. What are your favorite veggies to add to your sandwich?
That's a really good question. I like to, personally, while we wait for some answers here, I like to add arugula. Some leafy greens for me always work.
I agree. And I love arugula as well because it has a nice spicy flavor, but not overwhelming. So I think it complements any toppings for a sandwich very nicely.
Okay. So we're going to follow here the edges. The skin of the tomato is always darker. So here you want to just, if you move slower and add more pressure, it obviously just accentuates it a little bit more. So then on the inside here, we're just going to, again, loosely color this in. And again, if you move out of the lines, it's okay. It's not a big deal.
Some veggie ideas coming in. We have pickled onions, caramelized onions, sprouts, all really great answers. Cucumbers are an underrated veggie for sandwiches. I must agree. They are. I never used to add them, but I had it once at a restaurant and I feel like that extra crunch is really good.
That's a really, you know, pickle, any pickle in there too. Pickle a cucumber.
Yeah. And for those just tuning in, Katie and Kim here from Applegate. We're coloring along to our Back to Something coloring book. If you haven't downloaded it yet, you can head to bit.ly.com/Applegate coloring book. It's on the screen. It is case sensitive, so make sure you capitalize the A, the C, and the B.
Awesome. Yes. So at this point, we've just moved down to the tomatoes. And like I said, I want to color in some heirloom tomatoes. So to make this a little more fun, make it more rainbow-like. This is a yellow tomato, and we're just following here the shape. So we're going kind of like around in the circle. And then, like I mentioned before, just get lighter as you get towards the center of the tomato, as it's always lighter. Is anyone coloring along with us?
Yeah, let us know in the comments.
And again, if you are, just post it on social. We would love to see how creative you get with this.
Yeah, maybe you want to hang it up on the fridge, snap a picture, and share it and tag Applegate.
So here,
Kim, now you're using a marker. Is that for the seeds?
Yes. So I want to make the seeds. The seeds are always a little different shade of the color of the tomatoes. So I'm using the marker just lightly to go in on the seeds here. And I want to, you know, make this look as fun as possible. So a marker adds a different dimension to this.
Here are some other great toppings: coleslaw, sauerkraut, kimchi. Someone's really getting into the cabbage there, which I love. I really love kimchi. I've never put that on a sandwich though, so I think I got to add that into my next lineup. What about snacks? So I see, Kim, you have pickles and clementines. Does anyone have a favorite snack that they either have with their lunch or they pack for their little one's lunch?
See, I always loved having something sweet after eating a savory sandwich. So I like a clementine. Just gives me the satisfaction of having something sweet and not feel bad about it.
I agree. Adding a piece of fruit or berry is always a great way to get that sweet craving in after a salty sandwich.
Okay, let's.
Wow, Kim, that is looking gorgeous.
Thank you. I can't wait to see how it turns out. And again, I just want to reiterate, you know, you want to have fun with this, get creative, make, you know, however you want to color a tomato. There's green tomatoes, there's green and yellow tomatoes. There are so many different shades of vegetables. So you can make this as fun as possible. Like in my sandwich, for instance, my tomatoes, which my mom grew in our garden, they are orangey yellow. So you can get as fun with it as possible. So I'm going to use again this technique here of using the marker to color in the seeds. And then after that, we're going to move down to our peppers.
Strawberries with Greek yogurt. That's what Carrie likes to have as a snack. That sounds like a little, almost an ice cream sundae. I love that.
That sounds delicious. It does.
And chips. Chips are always great. You can't go wrong. I feel like we're all talking about fruits and veggies here. We're forgetting about some of the salty, crunchy favorites that we don't always talk about.
Have you ever put chips, Katie? Or I know you were talking about this earlier, the different ways to make a sandwich really awesome. Like one of it was crunch, adding chips to a sandwich.
I have actually, and you're gonna laugh. When I was a little kid, probably in elementary school, I don't know what made me do this, but I would love putting chips on a peanut butter and jelly sandwich.
What kind?
I don't know what it was, but I did it.
That's funny. Hey, to each their own,
But I think that chips on a sandwich are good. What do you think? Yes or no? Let us know.
Okay, well, we wait for some answers here. I've moved on to the peppers. So again, I'm following the same technique here that I did with the tomatoes. When you go to the store and you buy your peppers, you can get a pack of multicolored peppers. So I'm going to do some orange, some yellow again, some green, and then a red pepper also. But again, you can do whatever makes you feel happy.
So we have another snack idea here where you roll up some pickles and cream cheese in Applegate ham or any type of deli meat, I guess you could do. That is great. A lot of people these days are following different diets, whether it's keto, paleo, gluten free. So these are great alternatives that if you don't want to have the bread or you don't want to load up on carbs, it's a great idea for you to include as a new recipe inspiration.
Yeah, I mean, we've done that before too. We've used color greens as wraps.
Yeah, and recently I think I was on Instagram and it was slices of peppers, like a whole half of a pepper that they used for the top of the sandwich. Then they stuffed it with cheese and turkey and vegetables, and then another pepper, and you eat it like that. I mean, really, you're getting in veggies all around.
Wow, that sounds awesome. And you know what? I feel like a pepper makes a really, really, really good boat for everything to like be nestled into it. Great.
What is your favorite color pepper, Kim? I see you're adding in all the different colors now.
So I always lean towards the yellow one. It just reminds me of summer. It's fun, it's vibrant. I feel like to me it's a little sweeter. I mean, they're all sweet peppers, but I always lean towards the yellow ones. So I mean, I don't discriminate. So I love all the colors. I can eat all the veggies. It doesn't matter what shape and size they come into. But I just, I'm gonna pick a favorite. It's gonna be the yellow one.
Nice. Any
Okay.
tips for coloring in? The peppers are much smaller. Any tips for making sure I know it's okay if you color outside of the lines, but if we're trying to stay in as close as possible, any tips for that?
Yeah, so just move slow. Just really, and this is, what I like to do too. This pencil is still kind of pointy, but if you sharpen it a little bit, it gives you that extra pointy tip and it really allows you to get into those little nooks and crannies here. So what I'm doing here is on the edges. Again, I'm applying the same technique we've been using since the beginning. The closer you are to the tip, the more pressure you apply. That's a good way of adding shade to this. The further away you move from it, it kind of lets you move a little more freely. It lets you move a little more smoothly. And you want to do that in larger areas. Like when we get down to the turkey here, you'll see what I'm talking about. But on this instance here, with the peppers are kind of like layer on top of each other, you just want to get closer to it and just move slow and just add the shading how you want it to be. The inside of the pepper, like I did here, is a little lighter. So you want to move, like I said, away from the tip and just move back and forth swiftly a little bit, just like slow. So if anyone has any questions about coloring, just let us know.
What if you're a beginner to coloring? Coloring is an activity for all ages. Is there a pencil, crayon, marker? What would be easy for beginners?
Pencil. A pencil
Pencil.
is the easiest way to color. It just lets you work it how you want it to be. You can learn with it at your own pace. For the most part, you can erase coloring pencils. So if you move out of the lines, you can do that. Whereas with a crayon, you really can't. Obviously, with a marker, you can't either. But as you kind of just master the art of coloring with a pencil, you learned how to use all these other supplies to complement your coloring pages. So you just, use a pencil. You don't have to have a wide, range of coloring pencils. The basics will always get you what you are looking for. So just, play around with it. You don't need all different shades. Like I said, if you just apply the basic techniques of being closer to the tip and adding the pressure and adding the dimension and the shadows and loosening it up to add some highlights, you can really make one single color go a long way.
It's great to know.
Yes. So
looks like we're almost on the turkey.
we are now onto the turkey. So what I want to do here, though, is just show you guys how to use a different supply, coloring supply like we did over here with the bread. So we're going to use a crayon for the turkey here. Now, turkey is kind of round, kind of like pinkish, more like a natural color here. So I want to, if you move back and forth with a crayon, you will see that a crayon, like I said, if you do it like just softly and smooth, you won't make it too dark. So, and it will cover a larger, like I said, surface area. So just get the bigger part here in, and then we're going to go in with the coloring pencil and we're going to shade in the rest of it. So,
Kim, we have a question. When you're using markers, do you try to color in one direction?
so if you have a wide marker, let me see, like this one, you can do that because it's easier to go back and forth. And you want it to look very smooth. So you can, and normally I do, just color in one direction, just because when you start coloring every direction possible, you it kind of looks a little messy, which is okay. You can just make it. But like I said, a marker is a little harder to blend and to erase if anything happens. So I like to use a marker mostly like on the edges and like bring everything together with a different sort of supply.
That's great. And I know, I believe that recommendation can be applied with the crayon as well. I notice even when I use a crayon, if I start going a little crazy, you do tend to notice streaks in different areas, which again, each artist has their own idea of how they want their picture to look. But if you're trying to get that clean look, just use that across the board.
Yeah, exactly. So just follow the lines and the edges of how things, just let it kind of flow smoothly. Just follow it how it goes, and make it, like I said, make it fun, make it work for you. So here we're just gonna get into the edges, and we're just gonna color in the edges of the turkey. And like I said, just this is a little bit of the same shade of it, just a darker brown.
Oh no, we have a big debate question that just came in. Is a hot dog a sandwich? That is very hard. I know everyone has their own opinion. I personally don't think it is, but I hear the debate of if it has two pieces of bread, which I know it's not two pieces, but it can fold over, that it is. What do you think, Kim? And anyone tuning in, let us know what you think. Is a hot dog a sandwich?
A hot dog is its own hot dog. That's a very heated debate, and everyone, you eat it either way. So a hot dog is its own type of thing, I think. To me, it's funny because I saw now someone had said that they think, is a hot dog technically a taco? And it's funny. I just think it's so funny. But
that's a good question.
I love hot dogs. I love sandwiches. I'll eat them all.
So someone is saying they don't care if it's a sandwich or not, as long as it's hot mayo. I'm happy if there's mayo on it.
Hot mayo. I will say I've done that before and I don't mind it. I do like to have fun with toppings. And like I said, even with the sandwich, you can have fun with the ingredients you add to it. Same thing with the hot dog, I think. Okay, so now we're on to like the last bit of this. We're going to color in the hummus, which, like I said, is a little bit of a lighter brown. So the same brown we just used for the edges of the turkey here. You see how these ridges kind of like follow? It's usually when you spread it, it gives it a little bit of a ridge. So we're going to color in this here. and we're going to color in darker, and this is where we're going to apply the pressure. And then as we move out from it, we are going to loosen up and just blend it all out. So, like so, here.
Has anyone ever tried hummus on a sandwich before? I have not. This would be my first time.
I haven't either until I made the sandwich. It's actually really good. I have a garlic lemon hummus, so yeah, it's a lot of like fresh, like herby, like taste to it. Okay.
That's great.
So we're just coloring here the hummus.
I know also we're just talking back to school items and that makes you think of deli, but for those tuning in, do you have a favorite Applegate product that you want to give some love to? I have to say, I am partial to our salami. I'm a big fan. I love it.
Yeah, I will say I think the chicken tenders are my favorite.
Good choice. That's another great option for lunch too.
Yeah, I actually did it recently. I made it. I made a little wrap, and I made the chicken tenders in the air fryer. They come out super crispy, and in no time.
So we have one person who loves the Applegate prosciutto, makes any sandwich better. That is true. Another Genoa salami fan. Great minds think alike.
We love a good salami, especially on a cheese board too, as a snack.
No sugar bacon. That's another great one, especially if you're looking to eliminate some sugar from your diet. I know that many people might not even realize that there's sugar in bacon, but there is a very small amount. So Applegate offers one variety that does not have the sugar in it. Another bacon fan. Love it. Another prosciutto fan. All great products.
Okay.
It seems like prosciutto is winning the fan favorite so far. We just got another vote for that one.
Can't go wrong with it. You can add it on a salad, on a sandwich, like I said, on a cheese board, add it as a side snack. You can do a lot of things with it. Okay, so now we're on to the last bit of this, and then we're done. I'm going to color in the crust like we did here before. We're going to go in with the dark brown that we started with. And again, just using the techniques we've been using all along. Start with the pressure and then release it.
And Kim, I know we're at the end. We're on the bottom piece of bread. But overall, before we sign off for today, any final tips from an artist to another artist about how to color, or whether it has to do with coloring supplies? Any tips that you want to leave everyone with? We'd love to hear.
So, like I've been saying all along, have fun with it. Don't get too crazy with buying all the supplies. The basics will always get you what you need, and start small. Start small and, grow your hobby, your passion for coloring. Like I said, it's a great stress reliever. So, whenever you have time to do this, color it along, but use what you have and make it fun, make it work. And once you feel like you're ready to upgrade, buy all the supplies, color all the things, and like I've been saying, just have fun with it. So that's it. This is our coloring page here. I had color another one earlier before because I've been having fun with this, and it's the same thing. So have fun with it. Here I use different shades, and you can do, like I said, you can do whatever you want with it. You can color it however you want, and you can just I said, and I'll keep saying, have fun with it, be creative, be yourself, let just go with the flow, and do what feels right for you.
Well, thanks, Kim. This was wonderful. That is a gorgeous looking sandwich. Thank you to everyone that participated today. We're so excited to have you on board. If you didn't download the coloring book and want to make some of these masterpieces later, the link is on the screen now. Remember, it's case sensitive. And if you ever are looking for any specific Applegate products, please visit www.applegate.com. You can learn more about Applegate, but more specifically, you can look at our store locator to figure out which products are in your area. I think that's it. That's a wrap. Thank you so much. Enjoy this Back to Something season, and we're here for you if you need anything Follow us along on social and let us hear from you. Thank you.
Thanks so much.